as they say in Frankfurt or Mainz or Berlin, Guten Morgen. That's the German good morning. My producer here is German. And I don't know any other words. No, mach schnell. That's from the World War II movies. That means like move quickly, right? Yeah. So mach schnell, let's read. You know, I'm a student of World War II, and my wife, she doesn't like it when I keep reading books about the war and how the Nazis came to power and then after the war and just the terrible things that, boy, you talk about evil, 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 not on the German people, it's human beings, but what we're capable of. How do you kill 6 million people? Boy, makes you believe in total depravity. Thank God for Jesus and the cross and salvation. So now Jesus is heading to the Mount of Olives, where the Garden of Gethsemane is. And you will all fall away, Jesus told them, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. That verse is found in Zechariah 13:7. In other words, they're scattering. See, they scattered, they were responsible for their scattering and not having courage. And yet Zechariah, hundreds of years before, more than 400, said that they would do it. See, that's God knowing, and yet we're responsible for what we do. We can't blame, well, God put me here, I had to do it. No, 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 no. So, I'll strike the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. But after I have risen, he's telling them, I'm going to raise from the dead. That one they couldn't grasp. I will go ahead of you into Galilee. Now there's 5 sermons in those verses. You will all fall away. In other words, you're going to lose courage. And he knew it. And he still loved them. Hello? Hello this morning. A word of encouragement. He knows our mess-ups before we do it, and he still loves us. Amazing grace. For it is written, I'll strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. So they were scattered when the shepherd was struck, arrested, and they scattered out of fear. But let's make another application of that. On earth, we have shepherds called pastors who work under the great over-shepherd, the great shepherd, Jesus. I am the good shepherd. He still is. But pastors are called shepherd, and people under them are called sheep. Obey them that are over you in the Lord, not dictatorially, but they've been put in charge of your spiritual development, and double judgment on them if they don't do it right. So, some people get so into their church and the pastor. I've seen this since I was 13 years old. They get so into the pastor and they idolize him, and oh, pastor said on Sunday. Thank God for pastors, but please give it a rest. As they say on Fulton Street, he ain't all that. No, he's my shepherd. Thank God for him. May all shepherds be blessed, all pastors. But guess what? They're very human and frail, like me. And if you keep your eyes on them and not on the good shepherd, you could go for a tumble. So in the last 5 years especially, there's been this scandal and that scandal, and shepherds have come under scrutiny, and the light does not show up so well. And what have some people done? I ain't going to church anymore. No way, Jose. I'm not going to church. You know, they're all imposters. So if a cop is a bad cop, does that mean every cop is a bad cop? Think of the reasoning. If a mother is nasty toward her own children, does that mean every mother's a bad mother? Well, of course not. But immature people are locked not onto Jesus so much and know that they can never lose him and never lose the word. They are locked into their pastor in some kind of human worship way. They esteem him, they overesteem the pastor. You can overesteem a pastor. Oh, yes, you can. I tell our congregation here, look, I'm doing my best. Pray for me. I hope you love me. But when you go outside the doors, please don't talk about me, because I can't help anyone. Only Jesus satisfies. Only Jesus saves, heals, blesses. There's the cult of the charismatic super pastor. Come on, you know that's true. And pastors who play to that and want that respect, over respect, they're playing with fire. Pride cometh before a fall. Just let's present Jesus. If you're a pastor listening, present Jesus and then get in the background. Please, go in the shadows. Please, do us all a favor. Because Jesus, high and lifted up. So let's be mature now and not keep our eyes on men or women. Let's appreciate them. Thank God for them. We can be inspired by them. We can be influenced by them. But our eyes always have to be on Jesus. And the good shepherd, the good pastor, will always be pointing to Jesus and not himself. After I've risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee. Come on. You got to be kidding. You know they're going to flop and fail. And then you're going to die for them. And then be raised from the dead. And you still want to work with them. In fact, you're encouraging them by saying, after I raise from the dead, I'm going back up to Galilee. They were in Jerusalem area. I'm going to go up to Galilee and I'll meet you there. Come on. In the natural, he should have said, look, I tried 3.5 years, guys. You guys are the slowest learners, most carnal, weak need. So the Father's going to give me, I'm going to work with another 12. No. Hasn't that been your testimony? It's been mine. When we fail and we mess up and we're unfaithful and we don't even like ourselves, we hear the Lord saying, I love you. Get up. I'll help you up. Come on, I got plans for you. Imagine after they all flopped and failed and Peter denied him 3 times and cursed the 3rd time. And now they get a report from the women he's alive. Maybe one of them said, no, but remember when we left the upper room, he said, you're going to all leave and the shepherd will be struck, the sheep will flee. But after I'm risen, I'll go ahead of you into Galilee. I'm going to take an extra few moments on this. One day that verse jumped out at me and I got so blessed I didn't know what to do. What did Galilee stand for? Why didn't he say, I'll go ahead of you to Montreal, Canada. I'll go ahead of you to Antioch in Syria. I'll meet you in the desert in the south. That's where they started in Galilee. That's where he chose them, fishermen and other trades. In other words, you flopped. You will flop, but my grace is greater than your flop. We're going to start over because I'm not done with you. Weak as you are, I am not done. Where sin abounds, grace even more abounds. Maybe you need to go back and start over with Jesus. Come on, like you met him at the beginning, when it was all fresh and your heart was virgin. I know a lot's transpired and you're not happy about some things and what people did, but go back to Galilee and meet him, where it all began. First love. Go back. Come on. You can go there. You don't need a GPS. Just go in your heart, get alone with God and say, God, I'm sorry for failing, but your grace is greater than my failing. Thank you for loving me this way. And now walk with me today. Today's the first day of the rest of my life. That I can assure you. Today, the day you watch this, is the first day of the rest of your life. Let's walk with Jesus. See you next time.